I want to start by thanking Ireland's Future for organising this event and for inviting me to speak at it. I'm not at all surprised there's such a large crowd here today because the level of interest and discussion and excitement about the topic of Irish reunification has grown considerably in the past number of years. This is no longer a topic that's of interest to a small, limited group on the island of Ireland. Instead, what we've seen in recent years is more people are coming out to discuss and debate this issue. And more importantly, we're hearing from people from abroad who come to this and look at this topic through a lens and with a perspective that many of us haven't looked at it with before. Listen, can I just make three preliminary points which I think are important? The first point I want to make is that the pursuit of Irish reunification through peaceful means is a perfectly legitimate political objective. And I think for too long it's been presented as though there was something subversive or sinister about it. That is not the case. And people are perfectly entitled to state and assert that they believe and they want to see Irish reunification. In fact, if you look at the Irish Constitution, it's also a constitutional aspiration. Article 3 refers to the will of the Irish nation to be to unite all the people in diversity together. And Article 3 also recognises that there shall be a united Ireland if it's the wish of the majority of the people in both jurisdictions exercising their franchise. So we need to recognise it's not just a political objective, it's a constitutional aspiration, and it's the logical consequence of the talks and the agreement that took place back in 1998, which recognised that people were going to be able to pursue, by peaceful means, reunification. The second preliminary point I want to make is that just as it is a perfectly legitimate objective to seek Irish reunification, I think we need to acknowledge that it's also perfectly legitimate to oppose Irish reunification. And just as it is my cherished aim to see a united Ireland, I know that there are many unionist people in Northern Ireland, and it's their cherished aim to see the retention of the Union. And similarly, there are many people around the country who are hesitant about this debate, and they're concerned about it, and we need to engage with those people as well. And finally, there's apathy. A lot of people just aren't interested in politics. There are some people involved in politics think that, well, this isn't the pressing political issue of our time. But we do need to engage with the opposition. We need to acknowledge the opposition, and we need to engage with it, because if we don't engage with it, we're really revealing that we're not comfortable with the strength of the argument that we're making. The third point, preliminary point I want to make, is that Irish reunification is about the future. It's not about the past. And that's why I welcome the name of the organisation, Ireland's Future. Like, I know in the centenary of partition, people look at Irish reunification in the context of what happened 100 years ago. But the world and Ireland has changed immeasurably since then. 100 years ago, the political landscape of this country was dominated by the twin monoliths of green and orange, of Catholicism and Protestantism. Those monoliths are no longer monoliths. And what we've seen, and as the doctor has mentioned here, we see all types of diverse politics developing. And that provides an opportunity. Because let's be frank about it, although partition was imposed by the decision of the imperial government, what really happened was that there was a division between the Irish people because of the irreconcilability of those twin monoliths. And as they fade away, the obvious pathway is towards reunification. Listen, the real question we all need to answer is, what is the benefit of Irish reunification? Because I know people may think emotionally it's terrible what happened to Ireland in the past. It may be, but that's not a reason to vote for Irish reunification in the future. And other people may think, well, we need to deal with the issues of housing in the south, or maybe third-level education in the north. They're two crucial issues, but also it's not a reason to vote for Irish reunification. The reason to vote for Irish reunification is because it would transform the island, and it would create a new country in which there would be greater opportunities for people living in both jurisdictions. It would create a stronger country that would have much more influence throughout the world. It would create a country with a much bigger economy that would increase the standard of living for everybody on the island. It would create a country with a much more diverse population. One of the criticisms of the two jurisdictions is that we had very limited diversity in both jurisdictions. But it also would be a shining beacon to the world of what can be achieved through reconciliation and agreement, because it would send out a message to the world that this country, that historically had too much violence and historically had too much division, came together with other parts of the country. They merged together to form a better union for themselves in the recognition that was in the interests of both groups on the island. Listen, finally, there's another reason for reunification as well. It's not as prosaic as the last one, but it is Brexit. And we need to recognise that the reason why this debate has gone up a number of gears in the past 5 years is because of Brexit. I used to think Brexit was a political event that took place in 2016. It's not. Brexit is a political ideology that demands constantly that there is tension between the British government and the European Union. And at some stage, it's the protocol in respect of Northern Ireland. At another stage, it's going to be fisheries policies. But this is going to continue endlessly. And we need to recognise that the opportunity for everyone on this island lies in us ourselves developing and agreeing our own future. Gormalgov.